Well, hello everybody. Nick McGinnis here with Meadow Green Farm. Today we're rotating through one of our pastures. This field 4 or 5 years ago, when we first bought the property, was in a rotation of corn and alfalfa. You can see the field across the fence line is still in that rotation. That is owned by a dairy farmer, a really nice man. He runs a great operation. And when we bought this property, he was leasing this field for continuing on what he was doing next door. And after a couple of years, and we were starting to raise some cattle, we ended that agreement on good terms, which is important. And we had it seeded in a mixture of clovers and grasses. There's some alfalfa in here. Anyway, as you can see from this video, and we're only in, I think it's June 12th, the grass is 40 inches high. I think this is a type of fescue. I should double check this before I make a video on it, but it is quite mature, and a lot of people say, oh my God, you have to mow this. But, and you can, and I could see some value in doing this. But on the flip side, because this is a relatively new pasture, there's still a lot of gaps. You can see there's gaps in the sod where there's not a whole lot growing. So there's nothing wrong with letting your grass mature. First of all, when you have this nice sward of grass, you're going to leave a lot of residual. If you leave a lot of residual, you're going to protect the ground. It's going to be more drought resilient. And all of this stuff going to seed is going to improve the seed bank in the soil, and it's going to address slowly these gaps in the soil that didn't quite take when it was planted originally. We had a nice mixture of legumes, your clovers and alfalfas in here. And they went right for it. They're just chowing down on it. But you don't need to rush in here and mow it because it's getting too mature. There's certainly a role for that. But in a freshly seeded pasture, there's nothing wrong with letting it go to seed, get some stockpile on it. We're so early in the year too that there's going to be a lot of growth coming behind us. So let's have a look at what was grazed yesterday. You can see there's still some patches here, and this is the worst spot in the field, but it's worth showing. This is the kind of stuff where you want to leave residual. And it's just full of residual. All of these mature grasses that have gone to seed, they kind of just picked around them, and that's fine. But we set up these paddocks in long, narrow strips. And so as these cattle are foraging all day, and they're searching for the clover, searching for the alfalfa, what they're doing is walking back and forth, and they're trampling a lot of the stuff that they're not eating, and that's a real benefit. Look at all this tall grass. I think it's fescue that's laid down in the soil. They're stomping it down. This is a very hard pan type of soil, so they're not really pugging it into the ground, and it's been quite dry, but you can see they're knocking a lot of it down. Some of it's getting knocked down and then manure dropped on it. That's how you build soil. And over the long term, I have 100% faith in this. This field is going to improve year over year as long as we keep doing this. This is what I would consider an appropriate level of grazing pressure. And it's just, it's cost effective and it's time effective. I still have a job. I don't have time to sit here all day or sit on a tractor all day and mow behind the cows. And I'm not sure if I even would, to be honest. But anyway, that's just a couple tidbits and things I've learned managing new ground. This is the only field on the property that was seeded after we bought it. The rest of it was in hayland, so there's other approaches that are required there. We did frost seeding. But here's what the cows are in this for the next 24 hours. And they seem to be doing fine. We're just starting to calve. We had our first set. We did have a set of twins, which was a first for us on the farm. But you can see that the grass is right up to the cattle's back. This is providing some shade when it's hot. There's not a whole lot of shade out here. There is some against the tree line. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents, a bit of a discussion on managing grass and not being afraid to let forage over mature when you're trying to restore a pasture.